Okay, probably wait for a few seconds while people kind of start tuning in. But we're following PG&E's announcement that they are possibly going to be cutting power to 17 counties across northern and central California. I was going to say Florida, but California. Carley, you've been tracking a lot of this wind-related event for Wednesday and Thursday.
That's right. We've been starting to track this as of even Friday. As we were checking our computer models, we were looking at increase for winds. We were tracking the high pressure, and we're like, hey, you know what? This might actually be an event to look forward to into the upcoming week. And in fact, that's what we're looking at right now. High pressure is starting to build. And the thing about high pressure building is we're not seeing a flow of low pressure moving in. That's those winds that kind of shift things out of the way. They bring kind of a calmness to everything. What we're looking at right now is some high pressure that's going to start building over California. This helps to push the jet stream further north, so any moisture that could be potentially in our area is going to be shifted further north into the Pacific Northwest and Canada. So a lot of this high pressure building here, that's going to lead to some more dry weather and warmer conditions. Now, of course, we all know when it gets warmer, it's also drier when it comes to vegetation. That's what we've seen all summer. The vegetation dries out, and at this point in time, we're looking at some of the driest vegetation we could see all year. This even moving into the November month. So yeah, looking at that with winds now beginning to pick up, that's what's going to cause that potential fire threat. And what's different here is that we're looking at Monday, Tuesday in elevated risk. So I just want to show you this, a little bit of a difference between elevated risk and critical risk. Critical risk could be moving in Wednesday and Thursday. And here's the difference, guys. Winds that are 15 miles per hour is considered elevated risk. Now we're talking about a duration of 3 hours or more where these winds are 15 miles per hour. Now Wednesday, Thursday, that's the main event. This is where we look at a critical risk of 20 mile per hour winds plus. Now you're looking at also humidity increase. So you have the humidity at an elevated risk within about 5% of the regional threshold. When we talk about that, we're talking about what our area can hold, what is our limit, and that's within 5% of our limit. Now anything at or below the limit that we can actually handle, that's going to be more critical. So that's what we're talking about in the coming days. We're looking at really just dry weather, the winds picking up again. We don't have any red flag warnings in place at the moment. Right now this is just fire danger that we're looking at, so that's what's leading to that potential PG&E risk.
Yeah, and then PG&E did send a release tonight. They were saying that they activated their emergency operations center tonight at 6 o'clock. And a lot of people are talking about, when the power shutoffs between October 9th and 12th. This one, if it was going to happen next week, it's not going to be as large as the one that we saw.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. That one had a red flag warning in place. That one had the winds, and they had at least a little bit more notice. This one's a little bit iffy. We could see low pressure moving in closer toward the weekend, which could shift things just a bit. So this isn't going to be as powerful, as strong as what we saw with red flag warnings when it comes to the winds. But it doesn't really matter when it comes down to the winds. It's any spark that really matters. So anything that can take off quickly and get out of control, out of hand, that's what we're really concerned about. So anything that could spark it when it comes to either power lines, things like that. So that's what we're really concerned about at this moment.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you still have it, but for the 5 and 6 o'clock shows, you had it at the areas that would be impacted by a lot of the winds. That was, I think, would be really helpful too.
Yeah, let's look at that. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. Yeah, we were looking at an area map. This is an outage map that we try to show or illuminate some areas that would be at greater risk. So here it is here. This is what we're looking at high fire threat map. This comes in here. Really, all surrounding areas, you take notice, the valley is kind of not part of that. We see it mostly in the foothills. We see it in areas of the coastal ranges and in the Sierra. And of course, that's where we're looking at and what we're talking about when we talk about the PG&E shutoffs. Those are the areas that are more critical when it comes to threat. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. You can see here areas that even move in as close as El Dorado Hills into Placerville, Auburn, Grass Valley, Jackson, and Truckee. So some of our areas that we're used to, seeing closer to our hometowns, Cameron Park. A lot of these places affected in red there is going to be a little bit higher threat than the orange. Georgetown, Polly Pines, Placerville. We have Forest Hill, areas of Monte Vista, just south of Grass Valley. So yeah, just a little bit of a kind of hole there. But yeah, these are massive areas that are under this fire threat. So we like to point out, of course, the foothills. All these areas have rigid terrain, areas where fires can rapidly spread. They can go uphill very quickly and be sparked by a lot of these fires, causing, or the winds picking up those fires, I should say, and helping that to move across the terrain. That's what also makes it dangerous for firefighters trying to get into those areas and try to get this all put out. So
I'm trying to go through some of the comments that we have too. Someone just asked, how about Shasta County? I don't know if you mentioned Shasta County.
Yeah. So if you take a look here, you can see Shasta County just a little bit. No, it's a little hard to see because you have Medford up here and just south of that. So yes, Shasta County is in a fire threat. At this point, it's in the orange shade. So, you know, anywhere we have dry vegetation, you need to be concerned with. The winds are coming out of the north, so they are going to start picking up in a lot of these areas, including some areas of Shasta County. So just be on alert. As soon as the winds start picking up and you're feeling that dry heat, you want to be worried and concerned about that. Just take precaution, you know, really.
And also be prepared too, especially for next week, if you can get everything that you can, just in case you have to evacuate as well. It's a good reminder right now.
Very good reminder. And you know, you hear a lot of these people who have, you know, their bags by their doors now, and you know, you never know when you need to leave, and that's what I think is the scariest part is some of these people need to leave in the middle of the night, and that's what becomes really scary about these fires. And I don't know if this would be a good transition about middle of the night. The Dallas tornado, I don't know if you've all been watching or hearing, there is a violent tornado that moved into Dallas just a few hours ago in the middle of the night. Some pretty big homes have been damaged. A lot going on with that. I'm just going to show you what we're looking at when it comes to the radar and explain a little bit of this to you because it can be a little confusing. All right, we're looking at a pretty big system here. This is a massive low pressure system circulating, but take a look at this long cold front. We're producing squall lines on this cold front ahead of it, and that's really when you have a cold front, very cold air kind of moving in from the north, and a lot of heat from the south. You know, areas like Mexico, Texas have a lot of warmth, and instability happens when you have cold and warm air colliding here, and this is what's happening. I'm going to zoom in on this and show you what they've been seeing in the last few hours. Here's a tornado, here's a tornado. One has been confirmed, the other has to still go through the National Weather Service to be confirmed. We don't have any EFs at this point or time to where they can confirm, hey, it was an EF4 or an EF3 or whatever that would be, until they can actually assess the damage in the morning, and that's going to be quite a while because we're not seeing sunrise for at least another 6 hours or so, so it's going to be a little while. Let's take a look at this line. This is the next concern here because once you see some of that pink like you saw passing Dallas and areas of north of Dallas, you're now seeing it once again right here. So much of Dallas can be hit in the next about hour and a half or so. So that's also very scary for them. A lot of people just trying to tune in. I know a lot of people have been covering and checking out our sister affiliate station there in WFAA. They've been on Facebook Live. It's always such a great resource, Facebook Live, because a lot of the power has been cut out because of these tornadoes. So yeah, great resource for them to keep people informed.
Yeah, and I was kind of listening in. They said that some people might have not made it home yet because they're watching the Dallas Cowboys game too. So I was listening to that, and also, yeah, I mean, a few hours from now, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, especially with daylight, then we'll see more of that damage, but it's just scary to think that it happened at night in the dark.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of the homeowners were outside with their flashlights just trying to see what's happened. One of them said, you know, the entire power pole, you know, the metal ones, real thick ones, was completely on its side, and their whole backyard just completely lifted half their roof off. So just a lot of damage and shattering that you're seeing. Entire huge trees being pulled off as well. So yeah, a lot happening there in Dallas tonight. And this doesn't just mean Texas. We're talking now areas of Oklahoma, even potentially Arkansas. So I'm going to show you this massive squall line here and cold front. So you're looking at Oklahoma, areas of Tulsa, this huge line pushing through Oklahoma. So that's also dangerous when it comes to tornado impact. They are seeing tornado watches in place right now. Also moving into areas of Arkansas. Take a look at that. And then Missouri's next. So we're looking at this huge thing overnight that everyone needs to be concerned about who live there. A series of severe weather. Doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a tornado, but lightning, hail, thunderstorms, all of that happening, and you always need to be, of course, careful with tornadoes. So.
And kind of going back to PG&E, because I know a lot of people are kind of commenting. I don't know what the best resource is because there are a lot of people that are putting in their addresses, where they're from. Is there the best resource for like a map or something just to see if they may be impacted?
Yeah, I mean the PG&E website does have that, and I know it's been hard because there have been a lot of crashes on that website. So I'd say try to find out as early as possible if you check their website before it's inundated with a lot of people trying to get on the website early. And of course, make sure you're updated with PG&E about whether or not you will be impacted, because if they don't have your contact information, they can't get a hold of you. So.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I'm going to try to pull that up if I could find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were just saying if you need to update your contact information, pge.com. /my wildfire alerts, just to sign up, just to make sure that you're prepared. Also make sure that you have all your medical needs. But yeah, we mentioned when we first started, it's going to possibly impact 17 counties, Sierra Foothills and North Bay counties too.
Right, North Bay too has been a big one. Was checking with Rob Maeda in the Bay Area. He's also tracking that area. North Bay area looks like could be potential big concern. So yeah, we're going to definitely track the weather in the next couple of days. We're at an elevated risk at this point, so the wind's about 15 miles per hour before we get to the main event of stronger winds potentially Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so we're going to be tracking all of this, and we'll have more later tonight for the 11 o'clock show on Late News Tonight.
Yeah.